Okay, everyone, today we're reviewing the test review. This review will be in two parts, so there will be two videos. One will be on questions 1 through 9, that's this video, and then the next video will be on the error analysis questions. Okay, so make sure before each problem that you try the problem first independently and then listen to the video and the explanation. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and try question number 1. So looking at question number 1, hopefully you noticed that it gives you a graph. That's the line that has a negative slope, and then it gives you a table. Keep in mind that each of these are two different lines. One of them is graphed and one of them is written as a table. They are two different things. So what I did was I took the points from the table here and I plotted them, and that's how I got that red line. So now that I have both of them as graphs, I can see exactly where they intersect, and that is your solution. Now, the only problem is that on a test for us, your tests are digital, so you would need to use the graph paper that we give you to first draw the original line, and then plot the points from the table as well and draw that line, and then see where they intersect. In this case, it is 0.13. 1 is the x value of that point, the purple dot that you see there, and 3 is the y value. Now take a moment to try problem number 2. My hint is you probably need to use Desmos for this. So I tried to color code these so that you could see we have a blue line, and I've written down 2 of the points from the blue line. You can see I've marked them on the graph as well, right here and right here. Those 2 points I have put into a table. One of the points is 2, -1, and one is 5, -3. Make sure to be careful there, guys, because the scale is really weird. Each line is not 1. Each line is 0.5. So when we're counting on our number line, it's 0, 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.53, 3.54, etc. I also did the red line and put 2 points in a table, and we can put these tables into Desmos. So let's remember what Desmos looks like. I put in the first 2 points in a table. Remember, we hit the plus sign to make a table. And if for some reason we get fractions, remember, you can make a new line. If I want the m, the slope, and I want to know what it is as a fraction, type the letter m and hit the fraction button. And I will do the same thing for the y-intercept. This was a confusing one for us because if you do look at the graph, you can tell that the y-intercept is not a whole number. And that's why the Desmos works so great for this problem. So our m is -2/3 and our b is 1/3. So let's write our equation. Y equals -2/3 x, because m was -2/3 and our b value is a positive 1/3. So that is the equation for the blue line. Take a moment, pause the video, and try your linear regression with the red line in Desmos. All right, so hopefully you have already done your Desmos regression with the red line and the 2 points we put in the table. The m value was -4, so our slope is -4, and our b value is -8. So this is our system of equations. This one was a hard one because those y-intercepts 1/3, we couldn't tell where it hit the y-axis. It was somewhere less than 0.5, but we didn't know exactly where. And the y-intercept of the red line we can't see because it continues, but we can't tell where it's going to hit the y-axis at. It does eventually touch the y-axis at -8. So keep that in mind. Please take a moment to try example 3 now. Problem number 3, give it a try. Take a moment to check to see that your equations are correct. There was one equation for how much money Sarah spent and one for James and how much he spent on popcorn and cotton candy. I didn't use X and Y because I didn't want to be confused about what they stood for. I know that P is the cost of popcorn and C is the cost of cotton candy because I know how many they purchased. I don't know how much one cotton candy is or one bag of popcorn. So now try to solve this. I definitely recommend using the elimination method. And keep in mind that you may have to multiply both equations by a number. So please take a moment to try solving this using the elimination method. Please note what I multiplied by. I was trying to eliminate the p's. You could have tried to eliminate the c's. Also, you'll notice that I made the 8 negative in the top equation, what I multiplied by, but I could have just as easily made the 3 negative instead. Just remember, we do want them to be opposites. So when they multiplied out, if you see, I got negative 24p and positive 24p. One needs to be positive, the other has to be negative because they have to add up to 0, which is why we can cancel them out when we add the two equations together. And then we added the c's and added the constants and solved to find that the cost of cotton candy was $7. And then we went back to one of the original two equations and plugged in 7 for c because we do know how much cotton candy costs now, and solved to find that the cost of popcorn was $4. Make sure to check through your work. Now pause the video and try question 4. Once you unpause it, the answers will be revealed, so please take a moment to pause and try question 4. Check your equations, make sure they're correct. If you have already solved it and you were getting some weird answers, go back right now and check to make sure that your equations were correct first. The first equation should not have many numbers in it at all because all it really is showing us the total number of tickets. The number of adult tickets plus the number of child tickets is a total of 9 tickets. It has nothing to do with money. The second equation is all about money. All the money goes into one equation. Every single bit of money goes into the same equation. $7.50 per adult ticket plus $5.25 per child ticket equals a total of $54. All that money goes into that one equation. Now, use the elimination method to solve. Pause the video and try to solve this using the elimination method. So looking here, I multiplied the first equation by negative 7.50 because remember we needed it to be negative so that they are opposite signs. I wrote the new equation right here, and then the second equation stayed the same. And when I added them together, as you can see that negative 7.50 plus positive 7.50 does give us 0. And then we solved and divided both sides to find that the number of child tickets was 6. And since we know there were a total of 9 tickets, 9 minus 6 told us that there would be 3 adult tickets. Alrighty, go ahead and pause the video again and try number 5. I definitely recommend using the substitution method for this one. Good luck. Hey there. Please note, make sure that you're substituting in the right place. Okay, because it says x equals, we are substituting where the x is in the equation. So wherever the x is, we're replacing it with negative 2y plus 8. Now you need to solve that equation for y, because notice that this equation now has only y's in it. So you should be able to solve it. So pause the video, solve for y, and then substitute again to help you solve for x. Pause the video and try it. Hey there, guys. So if you're following my steps, we replaced x with negative 2y plus 8. We distributed. You can see I circled the y's and combined my like terms to get negative 5y, and we solved to find that y was 7. But you can see I have highlighted here, it wanted the x value of the solution. So we found y, but we need the x because that's the answer they're looking for. So I took the first equation over here to the right, and instead of y, I replaced it with 7 because I know y is 7. And then I solved and found out that x was negative 6. So our actual answer to this problem is negative 6 because it wanted the x value. Okay, so make sure you're always reading the questions. If it had asked for the y value, then I would have stopped and said, oh, y is 7. I don't need to go any further. But in this problem, I did have to go further because I needed to find the x. So now take a moment and pause the video and try to use the elimination method, which I know you know how to do now, and solve number 6. Okay, on this problem, you can see I multiplied the bottom equation by -1, and my reason for that was because both of these were 2's, but remember, one has to be positive and one has to be negative. So if I multiply it by 1, it doesn't change it. 1 times 2 is 2. So I need to multiply it by -1 because a negative times a negative will make that a positive 2, and the y's will eliminate, leaving me room to find the x. So I found the x first and got 3, and then I replaced it, x with 3, in the top equation. You could have used either equation, keep that in mind. And I solved and found that y was 4. And make sure you write them in the correct place. When you write a solution, x goes first and y goes second, just like in the alphabet. All right, guys, look at number 7. In number 7, you're asked to write the equations in standard form. Very important to note that it needs to be in standard form. Let's remember what that is. AX plus BY equals C, where there are no fractions. And remember, the A value must be positive. So first, start out by putting your tables into Desmos and getting the equations in slope-intercept form. Get them in y equals mx plus b form first. So pause the video and do that. All right, so checking to see that these equations are correct. They are in y equals mx plus b form. You should have gotten these m's and b's by putting these tables into Desmos and getting the m's and b's and then writing your equation. Now try to convert it to standard form. Pause the video, give it a shot, and then unpause to check your answer. Check your work to see that you did it correctly. In the first one, remember standard form, the x and the y have to be on the same side. So to move that -1x over to the left, we have to do the opposite and add 1x. And then you'll notice I also added it on the left. It's what you see in green. And just to show you, you don't have to put the 1. You can just put x. 1x is the same thing as x. And since we have no fractions and the a value, the number in front, is positive, you don't have to do anything else. That one only required one step. But the second one required a tiny bit more. To get rid of the 2x and move it to the other side, we had to minus it. So when we minused the 2x, it went away on the right, but on the left, it's still negative. It's a negative 2x and a positive y. And like we said before, the number in front can't be negative. So to make it positive, we multiply the entire equation by -1, which really doesn't change the numbers at all. It just changes all of the signs for all three values. I have circled the equations written in standard form. Keep in mind on the test, if it is multiple choice, you may not have to do both tables. Start out just doing the equation of one table and see if that eliminates some of your answer choices. And then if you have to, you can do the equations of the second table. Okay? Now give question 8 a try. Pause the video. This problem is really a game of elimination. I eliminated the ones on the left because you can see the first equation that I highlighted in yellow is correct because of the total number of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And then I eliminated it because of the word more. It's 17 more, not 17 less. So it should have a plus sign, not a minus in that second equation. So the answer is B. Try number 9 and then check your answers. Pause the video. Looking at number 9, your best bet is you already have one of the lines graphed and the other one goes through these 2 points that I have circled. Plot those 2 points and then graph the line, and you can see that they never intersect, which means there is no solution. But guys, you would have to draw this on your own paper. Keep that in mind, okay? Good luck, guys. on your test. I wish you the best. Have a great day. Bye.